Working a minimum wage job can be frustrating at times. I've worked as a dockhand for 2 years now, and I often find myself saying things like, I don't get paid enough for this, or that's above my pay grade. And as I've come to find out, this is a very common statement. This is why we should increase the federal minimum wage. My three main reasons for increasing the federal minimum wage are: 1, an increase in the federal minimum wage is long overdue. 2, it may help benefit the economy. And 3, the cost of living is on the rise. As I said, my first main point is that the federal minimum wage has not increased in over a decade. According to Adil Hassan with the New York Times, in an article called "Tipped Workers Left Behind as Minimum Wage Rises," published January 10th of 2020, says that the federal minimum wage has not increased since 2009. Wages for sub-minimum workers have not increased since 1991. This means that waitresses and other tipped workers are stuck at the federal floor of $2.13 per hour, plus tips, of course. According to Lay Nasson with Monique Business Briefings, the main federal, in an article called "The Main Federal Contractors Required to Increase Minimum Wage for Workers in 2022, the Biden administration's new executive order," says that as of April 29th of 2021, the government has been taking steps through Biden's new executive order to increase the federal minimum wage to $15 an hour by 2022 for all federal employees. This means that the government is taking steps in the right direction as to increase the minimum wage, but why not increase the minimum wage for the rest of America? My second main point is that an increase in the federal minimum wage benefits employees and barely causes inflation. On the website Foreign Affairs, in an article by Alan Manning, published in 2018, the article is called "The Truth About the Minimum Wage, Neither Job Killer Nor Cure-All." Shows a bunch of studies in cities where the minimum wage has already increased. A study in San Jose, California showed that a 25% increase in minimum wage only rose restaurant prices by 1.45%. This low change in percentage of prices means that workers that receive a higher minimum wage have more purchasing power, which benefits the economy. Another author, Thomas J. Carter, wrote in his article, it's actually a journal, that minimum wage laws that reduce labor costs, from the Atlantic Economic Journal, published June of 1995, says that a raise in minimum wage benefits the employer. This is because whenever you pay somebody more, they offer more work. There's a higher quality of work. With workers doing more and having more purchasing power, this most definitely benefits the economy. My third main point is that the cost of living is going up while the federal minimum wage is staying the same. According to Infobase, in an article, "Minimum Wage, Should Congress Raise the Federal Minimum Wage?" published in March 12th of 2021, says that the federal minimum wage has stayed at $7.25 for more than 10 years, while the cost of childcare, food, clothing, and other necessities has continued to rise over the years, which means that low-paid workers are left more and more behind and are left in poverty and debt. In a journal by Steve Calandrio and Taylor Halperin, titled "Making the Minimum Wage Work, An Explanation of the Economic Impact of Minimum Wage," published in 2017, says that the gap between the average wage and the federal minimum wage has increased over this long period of time. This means that low-wage workers are often worse off than the rest of the population. Although this also means that this is a smaller group of workers, these workers are a lot worse off than, say, the average American. So, as I stated before, an increase in the federal minimum wage is long overdue. It will benefit employers and the economy, and it'll do this while helping fight the higher cost of living we have today. There are current stands to help raise the minimum wage. For example, the Raise the Wage Act of 2022 failed to pass through Congress by a few votes. It's not 2022, it's 2021. This means that if we keep the major issue of the government in the government's mind, it ought to change. I urge you to send an email or letter to your local state representative. The more attention that this issue gets, the more likely it is to change. Thank you.